Have you ever thought what it will feel like to leave everything you know behind? I am sure that you have, especially if you're a senior considering going off to college. But today, I don't want you to think about having a choice. I want you to imagine what it will feel like to have to leave your country because you can't find food, because your salary is not enough to sustain your family, or because the government hates you for thinking differently, or because your family, friends, and neighbors die on the streets as a result of incessant insecurity. This is what happens to many families that come to the United States from countries that face tyranny. And this is a story that I want to share with you because it happened directly to me. And I want to give you a glimpse of how an immigrant should face a noticeable contrast between freedom and oppression. I moved from Venezuela less than 3 years ago. And I won't lie, I was 16 years old and I was initially excited by starting a new life, going to a new school, making new friends. But the moment I set foot on the United States, I was scared and heartbroken. I missed my family, I missed my friends, and I could not stop crying even when I tried to. But one day I was talking to my mom and I realized that my family had been blessed with this amazing opportunity that many people want, but they cannot have. In Venezuela, I would have graduated college knowing that I would not be able to work for a decent salary. I would have lived through scarcity, and I would have been afraid of leaving my own house. And this is why I did not let my fear stop me even when I felt like giving up. Because this country is offering me security, stability, respect, and abundance, all at the tip of my fingers. However, I did not feel this strong every single day. I remember the first day I failed a quiz for the first time in my whole life because I could not understand the questions correctly. And that day, everything crumbled for me. I felt that I wasn't making any progress with my English, and I started missing my country again. So I went home crying, and I told my mom, I want to go back. My parents were shocked at my change of attitude because they could not understand how I had gone from being so enthusiastic to being so pessimistic. Because I was getting excellent grades, I had become the president of the speech and debate club, so they could not pinpoint the reason why I had changed my attitude so suddenly. But after living here for a few months, I remembered why we had come to this country in the first place. It was to seek a better future. And this is how I started becoming the person I was before, and my determination was back. However, I was lacking something, and soon enough, 3 specific events would basically teach me what I was missing. The first event was when my best friend called me to ask if I could send her some soap for her and her family. My heart completely broke when I found out that my best friend, the girl that sat next to me in class, and the girl that gave me advice for hours, even when she knew that I wasn't going to pay attention to it, was living through such hard situations. The second one happened rather recently, when one of my dear friends was shot in a protest in Venezuela by a police officer sent by the government. He was only walking, defending his rights and freedoms, because that's who he is. He's full of life and passion for doing the right thing, but the government almost took that away from him. The third and last event is the hardest one for me to talk about, because my grandfather died because we were not able to find the medicine he needed to get better. And this was a common antibiotic, but the situation in Venezuela prevented us from finding it. This is how I realized that I was taking so many things for granted, and there's millions of people around the world that do not have access to them. And these are common things: food, water, clothing, soap, medicine. But since many of us have not experienced these life conditions, we tend to forget to appreciate what we have. Another lesson I learned from moving to a different country is that we have 2 options when we face hardships and change. The first one is giving up, and the second one is taking advantage of the opportunities of life. This is why I want to take this opportunity to let you know that it is completely fine to want more and aim high. What is not okay is to forget that there are millions of people around the world that are currently facing hardships. While some people are wondering what phone to buy next, someone else is wondering whether they will be able to find food for tonight. And this is why we cannot forget that we are very fortunate already. And I know that I should always appreciate what I have, because there's always someone that would do anything and would be more than grateful to be in my place. Thank you.